So as part of this video, I wanted to compare the top 10 project management certifications out there. And this is not going to be a superfluous comparison. We have gone deep. We have found data like what kind of industries prefer what kind of certifications. How many job descriptions mention each of these certifications? What is the pass rate for these certifications? So we have a lot of data for the top 10 certifications out there. If you're looking to get yourselves a project management certification, you should definitely watch this video. But if you already have a project management certification, this video is still very important because it is going to give you an idea of where to go from here. Which certification can you target from here? So stick around till the very end. This is, of course, the biggest comparison that you have seen of all the project management, most popular project management certifications out there. Let's kick things off with our slide number 1. And this is just the beginning. This is just the basics, right? Let me take up a black pen. This is just the beginning, and that is why you see very basic 5 columns here. The issuing organization, the experience required, target audience, exam format, and the most popular book. And this, of course, is going to contain the list of the 10 certifications that we are going to talk about. So let's kick things off with the big daddy of them all, PMP, the Project Management Professional. In my opinion, the number 1 project management certification out there. The issuing organization is PMI. What you need as a requirement is 36 months leading projects in the last 8 years, plus a 4-year degree. If you do not have a 4-year degree, then you need 60 months leading projects in the last 8 years. Who is the target audience? Without a doubt, experienced project managers are the target audience. The exam format contains all kinds of questions. You have got multiple choice, you've got multiple responses, matching, fill in the blanks, graphical questions, everything is there. And the most popular book is, of course, the PMP guide. No point for guessing there. Next in the list is Prince 2. This is issued by Excelos, and a lot of people consider this to be the number 2 certification right behind PMP. No specific experience is required. The target audience for this certification are project managers and even the project team members. The fact is, Prince 2 presents a new way, a different way of delivering projects. And if you are following the Prince 2 way of working, then not just the project manager, but the project team members must also be aware of this way of working. And that is why even the team members are the target audience for this certification. The exam format remains multiple choice questions, and the most popular book is Managing Successful Projects with Prince 2 by Excelos. Moving on, CAPM. This is an entry-level certification by PMI. No specific experience is needed here. The entry-level project practitioners are the target audience for this certification. Exam format remains multiple choice questions, and the PMP guide is the most popular book for the preparation of CAPM. All right, moving on. PMI-ACP. This is a certification which focuses on Agile, and this is offered by PMI, and it also has certain experience requirements. So you should either be a PMP or a PGMP, or you should have 12 months of project experience in the last 5 years. In addition to that, you should also have 8 months of Agile experience in the last 3 years. So quite a bit of experience is needed both in project management and in Agile if you want to go for PMI-ACP. The target audience is Agile project practitioners. It is a multiple choice questions exam, and the PMI-ACP exam prep book by Mike Griffiths is the most popular book for those preparing for the PMI-ACP. Then comes IPMA, and they have different levels, A, B, C, D. D is the initial level, and for A and B certifications, you need 5 years as a project manager. For C level, you need 3 years as a project manager. For D level, you do not need any experience. So that is the experience requirement for IPMA. Now, here's a quick word about IPMA. Since there are different levels here, there's a lot of details that we are not covering in this specific video. But if you are interested to know more about IPMA, let me know in the comments below and I will create a separate video covering just IPMA levels. Alright, moving on. Project managers at different levels are the target audience for IPMA. The exam format is a combination of written exam as well as assessment. And the IPMA ICB, which stands for Individual Competence Baseline. This is the most popular book. The book is provided by IPMA themselves. Moving on, Certified Scrum Master, the CSM certification offered by Scrum Alliance is also very, very popular. They do not have any specific experience requirement as such. Scrum team members and facilitators are the target audience for this certification. The exam format is multiple choice questions, and the book Scrum, The Art of Doing Twice the Work in Half the Time by Jeff Sutherland is the most popular book for this certification. Safe Agilist, the Scaled Agile Framework certification. This is offered by Scaled Agile. No specific experience is required here as well, and this is targeted towards Agile practitioners, Scrum Masters, project managers. And I would like to add here, specifically if your organization is trying to move into scaled agile, right? Scaling the agile framework, that is where you should look for SAFE certification. The exam format is multiple choice questions. And remember, scaled agile has a lot of certifications to offer. We are just looking at the entry level Agilist certification here because this is the most popular one. Scaling Software Agility Best Practices for Large Enterprise by Dean Leffingwell is the most popular book for preparing for your SAFE Agilist exam. Alright, moving on, PGMP offered by PMI is the next in the list. What you need are 48 months of project management experience or the PMP certification. This is a mandatory requirement. In addition to this, you need 48 months of program management experience in the last 15 years if you have a 4-year degree. But if you do not have a 4-year degree, then you need 84 months of program management experience. So requirement number 1 is mandatory, and one of these two is required to be eligible for the PGMP certification. This, of course, is targeted towards experienced program managers. Multiple choice questions is what you can expect in the exam, and the Standard for Program Management by PMI is the most popular book for this certification. Then comes PFMP, Portfolio Management Professional. This is a notch above PGMP as well. Again, offered by PMI, 96 months of business experience in the past 15 years. This is a mandatory requirement. And then one of these, you should either have 48 months of portfolio management with a 4-year degree, or you need 84 months of portfolio management if you do not have a degree. Experienced portfolio managers are the target audience. The exam format is multiple choice questions, and the Standard for Portfolio Management by PMI, that is the most popular book. And the last certification in the list is MSP, Managing Successful Programs. So program management related certification by Excelos. No specific experience is required. This is targeted towards program managers and senior project managers. Multiple choice questions, Managing Successful Programs by Excelos. This is the book that you can expect. So this was the very basic of these 10 certifications. We are going to go into further details. We have done a lot of research on ChatGPT. A lot of back and forth was done, and then manually validating each of these data points was also done. So this video has taken a lot of research. Stick around. Let's move on to the next slide here. All right. So let's talk about study resources, number of questions, total exam time in minutes, fees, and validity period in this slide. We have one more slide after this one. So let's start off with PMP. What are the study resources for PMP? You have the PMBOK guide, you have exam prep books, online resources like PMC Lounge. Subscribe to us if you haven't done so already. Total number of questions in the exam, you can expect 180 questions, and you need to solve these questions in 230 minutes. The fees for PMP, it is a quite expensive certification. $405 US if you are a PMI member, and $555 US if you are not a member. The validity period for PMP is 3 years. That is, after the 3-year cycle, you need to renew your PMP certification by obtaining 60 PDUs in 3 years. Okay, so that is all about PMP as far as this slide goes. Let's move on to Prince 2. So for Prince 2, you should read official Prince 2 manuals, you should read training courses. Prince 2 basically has 2 levels of examination. If you're taking up the Prince 2 foundation exam, you will have to solve 60 questions in 60 minutes. So you will have a total of 60 questions to be solved in 60 minutes. If you're taking up the practitioner exam, which also has a lot of situational based questions, then you will have to face 68 questions in 150 minutes. The fees vary by training provider. Most likely you're not going to pay anything to Excelos directly. Your training providers are going to do that for you. And the validity period is 3 years for Prince 2 certification. All right, let's move on to CAPM, the Certified Associate in Project Management. The study resources remain the same. You can always refer to PNC Lounge as well. We've covered a lot of videos that are going to help you with your CAPM preparation. You can expect 150 questions to be solved in 180 minutes. That is 3 hours for this certification. And the fees for this certification is $225 US if you're a PMI member and $300 US if you are not a member. The validity period for CAPM remains 3 years. Let's talk about PMI ACP. There are ACP exam prep books. There are online resources. We have loads of videos on Agile, so you can use PNC Lounge for your ACP preparation. And then there is an Agile practice guide by PMI as well. What you can expect in the exam is 120 questions that you need to solve in 180 minutes. If you are a PMI member, you can expect to pay $435 US. And if you're not a member, you need to pay $495 US. So it is again an expensive certification which is valid for 3 years only. All right, moving on. IPMA, and like I said, this has 4 different levels. So the study resources remain the ICB book that we talked about. Training courses are available. And the number of questions, they vary by certification level. It could be from 60 to 150 based on whichever level you are appearing for. And even the exam time varies by certification level. The validity period for IPMA certifications is 5 years. If you're interested to know more about IPMA, drop a comment. I'll create a separate video covering just IPMA. Certified Scrum Master, CSM, what you should study. You can study the Scrum Guide. You can study the CSM training courses. PNC Lounge also has a lot of videos and articles on Scrum that are going to help you with your CSM certifications. What you can expect in the exam are 50 questions that you need to solve in 60 minutes. The fees vary by training provider. You're not paying the issuing organization directly here as well. And the validity period remains 2 years. Moving on to Safe Agilist, you have the study materials, you have the training courses, you have 45 questions that you need to solve in 90 minutes. $195 US is the fees for Safe Agilist exam, but it is mostly included in the training provider fees itself. The validity period is the least in this list, that is only 1 year. So every year you need to revalidate your Safe Agilist certification. PGMP. Now, the standard for program management by PMI remains the top study resource. PGMP exam prep books, there are online courses available as well. What you can expect in the exam are 170 questions in 240 minutes. Actually, a lot of this information is similar to PFMP as well. The standard for portfolio management is the study resource that a lot of people refer to, followed by the exam prep books and online courses. And the number of questions as well as the total exam time is the same for PGMP and PFMP. If you move on, you will also find out that the exam fee for both of these certifications also remain the same. and 3 years is the validity period for both of these certifications. Finally, MSP, Managing Successful Programs. The official MSP manuals and training courses are available for you. The foundation exam, you are going to face 60 questions in 60 minutes. For the practitioner exam, you are going to face 70 questions in 150 minutes, that is 2.5 hours. Now, the fees is going to vary by training provider because training providers are going to deal with Excelos. You are not required to pay to Excelos directly. MSP is also valid for 3 years. So that was slide number 2. And slide number 3 is going to be very, very important. So let's move on. What we are talking about here is what does this certification focuses on? Which industries is this certification popular in? And how many job descriptions mention this certificate? That is very, very important. Also, what is the approximate pass rate for each of these 10 certifications? Let's kick things off with PMP. It focuses on broad project management knowledge. This is popular across industries and this is commonly recognized in almost all the industries. 50 to 70% job descriptions will find a mention of PMP. And spoiler alert, this is the highest percentage value that you're going to see on this slide. Pass rate is approximately 60 to 65%. That means all those people out there claiming that their students pass the exam all the time, their pass rate is 99.99%. Well, take a look at this. 60 to 65% is the pass rate for the PMP certification. Let's talk about Prince 2. Process-based project management approach is the focus of Prince 2. This is widely used in UK and Europe. This is applicable to various industries. 30 to 50% of the job descriptions find a mention of Prince 2. The pass rate is not publicly disclosed, but let me ask you this. Have you ever met someone who told you that they were not able to pass their Prince 2 certification exam? Maybe practitioner, there is a rarity that you might find 1 out of 100. But foundation, Prince 2 foundation, have you ever seen someone who has not been able to pass their Prince 2 foundation exam? Let me know in the comments. I'm definitely looking forward to your answers. Okay, let's move on. Certification number 3 is CAPM. The focus is on foundation level project management knowledge across industries. This is popular and it is suitable for beginners. 10 to 30% is the job description mention percentage here, which means very few job descriptions actually ask for CAPM. The approximate pass rate is higher than PMP, of course, 65 to 70%. Let's move on to PMI ACP. The focus of this certification is Agile Project Management Principles and Practices. It is popular in the IT industry. You name it. IT, software development, digital transformation, all of these more or less relate to information technology. So this is very popular there. 20 to 40% job descriptions mention PMI ACP. 70 to 75% is the approximate pass rate for ACP. Moving on to IPMA. Again, the mess here is the different levels, but job description mention is something that we were not able to find. This involved multiple prompts to ChatGPT. A lot of secondary research was done, but we were just not able to find job descriptions that mention IPMA. So essentially, none of the employers are looking for IPMA certified project managers. The pass rate is also not publicly disclosed. CSM, the Certified Scrum Master. The focus here is on Scrum framework and Agile principles. It is popular again in the IT industry. 10 to 30% job descriptions look for CSM. The pass rate is not publicly disclosed, but here I am again asking you, have you ever met someone who was not able to pass the CSM certification exam? Let me know in the comments. All right, moving on to our next certification in the list, which is Safe Agilist. Scaled Agile Framework implementation is the focus of the Safe Agilist certification. popular in the IT industry, but also has a mention of financial services here. 10 to 30% job descriptions mention safe, and the pass rate is approximately 85%, which is again pretty high. All right, PGMP, Program Management Knowledge and Skills. This is the focus of the PGMP certification. It is popular across industries. The emphasis is on program management. 10 to 30% job descriptions seek PGMP certification. The pass rate is actually the least in the list. 50 to 60% people pass the PGMP certification. What's surprising is that the PFMP pass rate is actually higher than PGMP. 60 to 70% folks clear their PFMP certification. But the job description mentioned for PFMP is pretty low, 5 to 15% only. The focus of the certification is on portfolio management principles and practices. It is popular across industries, and the emphasis is, of course, on portfolio management. After all, we are talking about a portfolio management professional certification. Finally, the last certification in the list, Managing Successful Programs, MSP. The focus here is on managing successful programs, of course, and the program management approaches. This is popular across industries. It is commonly used for managing programs. 10 to 30% job descriptions mention MSP certification as well. The pass rate is not publicly disclosed, and my question remains the same for MSP as well. Please let me know if you know of someone who was not able to clear their MSP certification, specifically the foundation one. Alright, so I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you have a broad idea about which certification you should go for. If you already have some of these certifications, do you need to take up any other certifications in the list? I hope you got your answers. Subscribe to us. We are all about PMP and other project management related certifications. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.